Caracol is a large ancient Maya archaeological site located in what is now the Cayo district of Belize. The site was first reported by a native logger who came across the remains in 1937. The Caracol area was occupied as early as 1200 BC. Caracol is one of the least visited Mayan ruin sites in the world. This is why it is so fascinating. It's an adventure just getting to the site. Join us as we visit Caracol in the country of Belize.
This area is known as the Te K'ab National Park, and it's actually managed by Friends for Conservation and Development. So they have about 227,000 acres that they're actually co-managing, and one of the most beautiful areas of the country of Belize. This is where most of our watersheds will actually start running down into the Macau River and then onto the Belize River. And this is the home for the scarlet macaws. So scarlet macaws are one of the most endangered species of parrots in the country, which they actually get heavily poached every year. So now they're working along with this University of New Mexico, so they try to restore them back. So we are already standing in the middle of one of the sites. So this is known as the Raleigh Group, which is like the outside part of the main city. So Caracol, believed to have been established around 200 BC, and they start to build and finish one of their first structure, which was around 300 BC. And this temple is known as the Temple of the Wooden Lintel, or the Astronomical Observatory. So that's the name of this temple, and we're gonna be able to walk through it today. So, but for the Mayans, they would live in small houses, but in a house they would have like a family will live inside. And this is one of the platforms of where one of the houses would be built. But these houses would have been built out of thatch. So thatch wall, thatch roof. Mm-hmm. But this is something what is more interesting now. That the Mayans, they believe, and they bury their loved ones underneath. So there are shrines in here. And this had some bodies that were discovered in this area. For example, if I die, they would put everything I have with me, mm-hmm. because they believe that I will need that through my journey of the underworld. So they were connected with caves. So they believe that when humans die, you have to travel through the place of Shibalba, a place of fright. So after you're able, or you had defeated the evil god, then you can actually descend up to the heavens. So they believe that heavens consisted of 13 different levels, and the underworld consisted of 9 different levels. So this is what their belief was. So for that reason, they would give people, everything they have, because they believe it will be needed through the journey of the afterlife. So this is, what they actually believe. Mostly, what happened, people will come here because once they bury someone, you're gonna find valuable artifacts like jade, mm-hmm. or painted pottery, and sometimes, they would be like pulling it out. But the bones, have been there for thousands of years. Yeah, Caracol is believed to have had a population of approximately 140,000 people that would live in this city, and it is one of the largest metropolitan place in the country of Belize. So the largest man-made structures are found in this place where we are today, Caracol. So this is one of the tombs that we have in the area of Caracol. So this was actually buried, and then they came and then they built another temple on top of it. So this is what the Mayans did, they actually buried this one, and then they actually built another one on top of it. So mostly we're looking at something like an onion skin. So if we remove one skin, you have another one, and this is how the Mayans did. So they built temples or buildings on top of buildings. So you bury one, you do another one. So when you start getting it, it's like ripping it like onion skins, one after the next one. So this is how they were building. Okay, so here we're located at this area known as the South Acropolis. So it's one of the areas where it's believed that they would have the astronomers resident in this area. So now from here, we will be able to see what is called the Astronomical Observatory of Caracol. But now it's still, most of the area will be covered with trees, so there's still a lot of work to be done, which means that there's more history that will soon come out when they start digging all of these areas. So steles are, these huge stone slabs where the Mayans used to record time or any history, or any special events. This is where they were actually written down. So now we're looking at one of the glyphs, which is known as the ahau. So every 20 years they would do one of this. So every 20 years they were making one of this. So we have several of this ahau within the site of Caracol. The Mayans were very good mathematicians, so they actually invented the zero. So they were using the 0 point, but for them 0 was represented by a shell. So a shell represented 0, and a dot represented 1, and then a bar or a line would represent 5. So with those 3 elements they could have counted as much as they want. But today we count in tens, so which is a decimal point. So the Mayans would count in 20s, so which they were using a V decimal point. So that was the system that they had as their mathematics. So they could record any time, And this is one of the houses that we have, and we're gonna see several of this while we walk through the site of Caracol. This is Cana. It's the largest man-made structure in the country of Belize. So Cana in the Maya language means height, and also we could see that it's built with 13 doorways. So those 13 doorways is representing the different heavens that the Mayans believed. So they had a belief in that, they had 13 different levels of the heavens, and that is what this actually pyramid is representing.